All right, everybody, we are live with the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I am James, as always joined with Kaelyn. We're doing this a little early today. I'm kind of out of it, so it's different. Yeah, we're doing this a lot earlier today because Kaelyn has to take a trip. She's going to Arizona to see some fights.
Yeah, we can talk
about that. And we're going to discuss that a little bit later because I'm actually very curious to hear more about that. But doing what we do, we're going to start off with the UFC. So the UFC happened last weekend, and it's going to happen. They're having fight night this weekend. Last weekend, wow. I'll be honest, I didn't see the card. I saw the highlights, though. Those highlights, oh, man. Those highlights were awesome. But let's start with the bottom of the card and work our way up. We had Anthony Smith versus Jim Crute, or Schrute. Yes. I call him Schrute just because he reminds me of Dwight.
Schrute Farms.
That's it. Maybe he eats beets. You never know. But Smith won by a TKO doctor stoppage. Did you happen to catch the card, or did you catch highlights as well?
No, I watched it. I was watching it for sure.
All right. Now, tell me what your thoughts on that fight were.
Anthony Smith did good. He looked really sharp. I feel like I haven't seen him fight like that in a long time, but probably just based off his last opponents that he's had, really tough guys, so but I'm glad to see that he is actually living up to what he used to be. He impressed me. His striking looked really clean. He got his distance down like perfect, and yeah, it was a good fight for him.
So did he just batter him, or like how did he just outperformed him?
Yeah, on the feet. It seems like his shots were just getting there a lot quicker than his. Maybe he might have had more. It looked like he had a longer reach than he did, unless he was just, better skillfully anyways. But he did really good. I was hoping I was going to see his reach on there. It looked like it. But, his striking was really good, really clean.
All right. And then we'll just go ahead and keep moving up the card. And, of course, there was this infamous bout. 17 seconds was all it took for Uriah Hall to get the win, but in a very unfortunate manner over Chris Weidman. Weidman, everyone, if you're a fan of MMA, you saw it, you know what happens. Weidman snapped his leg. Like, oh, man. Which is really like karma coming back after Anderson Silva.
That whole thing is really weird. I don't know what's going on with that little karma. I don't know. I wouldn't call it karma, but
I feel like it is because how often, out of all the fights, how often would that happen? That it happens to Anderson Silva in a previous fight against Weidman, and then it happens to Weidman.
I don't know. That's very creepy, very weird. Also, I was kind of trying to listen to some arguments as to why that would happen in general to a fighter. I think based off the conditioning of their shins, they could be a little too conditioned. Maybe they are already breaking down, so that when you throw that perfect kick and it lands in that area right underneath the his was almost around the calf area and it snapped. So
was it that high? Because I felt like it was in the shin.
It was below the knee. Below the knee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Around the back.
Now, okay, you're a kickboxing person, and don't Muay Thai specialists, don't Muay Thai fighters kick banana trees to deaden the nerves in their shins?
If you're in Thailand. People can do that here too. I don't see it, but you definitely can. But I know they kick banana trees, which are a little bit softer than a normal tree.
But does it calcify the leg? But then shouldn't it be tougher?
I'm not a doctor, but in my opinion, I would think that it does get it a little bit tougher.
Hey, you're an expert to me. I mean, you do more striking than I do.
But also, you can also break down your bone and not know it, and it's super weak. Also, you got to be careful on how you condition your shins. I think there's a process to it. It takes years. And I know the guy, all those tiny Thai fighters out there, they have no problem because they grew up on it. And maybe they just have different bones. I don't know. But And that's just another argument. I don't know if that's even the reason why. He could have just kicked it in that perfect spot and it just, snapped.
True.
Did you see the pictures of the X-rays of his leg?
I didn't see the X-rays. I did hear about him. His surgery was successful. He's come out of it. He's good. He's just recovering now. But hey, you know what? Good for Uriah Hall for not having to throw any type of strike and win the fight. Good for him.
Oh, he didn't want to win that way. You could tell he was.
I know, no fighter ever does. But you know what? That's an easy day at the office right there. 17 also, seconds. Wow.
Who wants to see that in person? I had the pleasure of seeing that in person one time.
Ooh, I bet that was nuts.
Well, I don't know. Albert Gonzalez. I don't know if you've seen him fight before. He's
yes.
And to him, I saw it right there, and it's just as disgusting as it is on TV. Hopefully, I don't have to see any of that again. I also read that a statement from Weidman said that right after it happened, he stepped on his leg to bait,
yeah.
And it actually punctured his muscle. So I didn't see that on TV. I'm glad I didn't see that on TV. Yeah, but but I think that's probably one of the worst things that could happen is you step on it and it spears whatever muscle you have right there and out the skin. That could be really, you could potentially lose a leg over that. So
can I just say how messed up it is that looking at these stats right now, that total strikes, Weidman landed 50%, 1 of 2. How messed up is it that they have stats for this fight? That's awful.
You have to.
I know you have to, but it's like
if you're gonna label it a TKO, then yeah, you're gonna have to put that on there. You could choose not to label it that way. I don't know. I feel kind of weird that they do call it a TKO, but it kind of is.
Not only that, but then you show that it shows total strikes and then significant strikes.
one.
Like, come on. I think that's pretty messed up.
What's strange is all those. Well, I don't remember what round it was that Anderson Silva broke his shin, but the ones that I've seen have all happened in the very first round. And it usually is one of the first strikes.
It's pretty quick. It seems like.
Seems like it.
All right. Well, hopefully Weidman will get back, recover quick, and get well soon because terrible injury, and we'd like to see him back in the cage again, fully recovered, and not have that happen again because that
poor guy. He's had the worst luck with this.
Right. All right. Now we move on to the women's flyweight. Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. Yes. All right. So what were your thoughts on the bout?
Shevchenko just does what she does. I knew she was going to win. I didn't know how, but I expected her to win. So it's almost like nothing new. It's almost nothing new. I'll get excited when she fights Amanda Nunes again.
That should be an interesting fight.
Yeah.
Could you really see her going for? Would Valentina move up because Nunes couldn't move down?
Well, Nunes can't move down. I think 135 is her limit. Shevchenko went up to 135 when they fought the last time, and I thought she won. Actually, I thought she won that fight.
And that would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think Dana White said that is a fight to make, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
Do you think after seeing that fight and seeing how dominant Nunes is, that they should, what could they do? Is there more fighters they can bring in to help cultivate the division? What do you think about that?
Or the
just in general?
Oh, just
because the way Nunes runs through people, and then now you have Shevchenko, and it seems like the best fight to make would be champion versus champion. So I feel like the division isn't very deep. What could be done? Is it just bring in more fighters? What fights? What do you think about that?
I want to see the fight between Shevchenko and Nunes because the last one was so close. Also, they have no problem. She has no problem going up in weight. Obviously, Amanda is still good at 135. She never has weight issues. I don't think, unless I'm lying. I haven't noticed her miss weight or anything. She's always on point and moving up or down to 145 or 135. But to me, this is like a super fight, and I know it's already happened twice, but. I want to see it again. I don't know who else you're going to put in front of Shevchenko that will last, or even give her a challenge.
True.
I don't know. I want to see that a Nunes fight. I don't care what anyone else says. I heard other people don't want to see it because it's happened twice, but I think it needs to happen. I don't know what else you're going to do. I mean, you could have her fight whoever else, but I think we all know what's going to happen. As of now.
Well, Shevchenko retained, getting did she knock her out or TKO? Because I just saw her dancing afterwards.
That one was a TKO.
TKO in the second round at 319.
Yeah.
Now we have, the other women's title fight with Thug Rose.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That
man,
kick, I didn't think it would, she had her hand up, so I didn't think that kick was going to connect when she brought the leg up and then snapped that kick. I was like, oh.
Well, the problem is her hands were not up. They were kind of out wide, and it just wrapped around there, got right in through, and then bam. And it, it was really, I think it was her foot really that caught most of her chin. So that, I wasn't expecting her to do that. Well, I wasn't expecting Weili to get knocked out like that.
I don't think Weili was expecting it either.
But it just happens when I think she went to back up and her hands were not ready to block any kind of kick. They were just kind of out, because I think she was moving backwards and that kick came up and got her. And she was out too. It's not like it was early stoppage. She dropped it. Her face was down, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this fight's over already.
Yeah, that highlight was nuts.
That was it. That was but Rose, I guess she's back.
Right? I wonder who.
Oh boy!
I haven't heard anything about who they're going to have her maybe make her first defense against, but
no,
I do look forward to it. And
do you think that Weili should get a rematch?
Not right away, because the way she got knocked, not right away. She got knocked out pretty good, especially a minute 18 in. I say give her a fight, and then go from there.
Yeah,
give her a fight. Let's see how she does performance-wise, because we know she can do it. But she's a great fighter. Everyone else. But let's see it, and then throw her back up in there in the title contention.
I would like to see her and Joanna go at it again, see what happens, and then the winner of that
might be the fight to make.
Even though Rose has already fought Joanna twice already.
I feel like, but a lot of these fighters are going to be fighting each other since they're all in the same division. It just depends. It depends on if you have someone clear the division,
right? But they're also all on that top tier level. You know what I mean? Her, Joanna, those are the three girls that nobody else can beat. Seems like.
Yeah.
So I think let them fight as many times as possible. I don't know. I'd like to see them fight.
It's the circle of life.
Yeah.
All right, and then in the main event, Carl Usman versus Jorge Maspidol.
What do you think about that?
Man, that's all I can say. Because the way Usman threw that punch and Maspidol's head just went like a bobblehead.
Yeah,
caught it flush.
Like it could have fell off,
Yeah. Props to Usman. I mean, both you and I took him in that fight.
Yeah, but I thought that it was going to go maybe 5 rounds, and also I thought he was just going to wrestle him to death, and that was not the case.
I thought so too, but no, he was like, "No, I'm going to shut this dude up." And that's what he did.
Is so clean. He's got a really strong jab. I've noticed his strikes everyone talks about it too, but his strikes are a lot more solid. They look like they have a lot more power than what you would think that they have. He's got a really good jab that set it all up, but his jab is hard also. So if you get caught with that,
then that's a wrap.
Yeah. I am a little sad to see Maspidol lose. I like him. I don't want to see him lose, but man, it is what it is. That was a really crazy knockout. That was one of the probably one of the craziest I've seen in a while as far as clean knockouts like that.
Right, sometimes I feel like it is.
You know what's crazy is ever since I guess Darren Till, he knocked him out, but also after that knee to Askren's head. That was crazy. And now this, he just happens to be in a lot of crazy finishes, whether it's him or the other person.
Yeah, he has lately. A ton of he's building the reputation of having exciting fights, and even though he lost, this continues it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be a good fight no matter what when he fights.
That's a fact. Hands down, this is a great card. Really well done by the UFC. And hopefully they can keep.
How I was so excited just to hear fans there, and
isn't that nuts?
A packed arena. Oh my God! I think things are coming back to normal.
I'm glad. I'm so happy for that. And our favorite, Jake Paul, was there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm just gonna kind of wrap this up with him. You're a boxer, and all you do is challenge MMA fighters.
Yeah.
It's apples and oranges. Stop it. Fight a boxer. There you go. Done.
Hey, so what changed? You were all about this like a last week.
I love freak show fights.
I did say.
No, I love freak show fights. Don't get me wrong. But if that's all you're gonna, it's one thing to have a one and done. But if all you're gonna do is make a career on it, that's way different. Then I'm not a fan of that. But if you have, it's like celebrity boxing. Okay, Screech fought. R.I.P. Screech.
Yeah.
But Danny Bonaducci. I want to say it's Danny Bonaducci.
Well, I think it was.
I may be wrong. But that's like, okay, I want to see that. But that's a one and done.
Right.
I don't want to see Screech fight anybody again. I don't want to see Danny Bonaducci fight anybody again. That was it. That's all I needed. Yeah. But to have him consistently do that, and that's the only way he gets a payday, no, let's put you in there with the real boxer. I don't care if it's a retired boxer. I don't care if it's Mike Tyson. Although I like Mike Tyson.
A boxer.
That's it. That's it. Put him in there with was it Anthony or Andy Ruiz? Anthony Ruiz or Andy Ruiz?
Andy.
Thank you. I'm thinking of Anthony Ruiz, the MMA fighter. My fault. Andy Ruiz. Put him in there.
No.
That would be great. Oh, I know he'd get his head knocked off. But that'd be a fun fight. I'd watch that. I'd be entertained.
Did you see Mayweather Has a fight? I think it was official.
I don't know if that's official. It's supposed he's fighting. I don't know if he's fighting Logan or Jake or
Logan Paul. I think
these dudes.
The other one.
They're twins to me, so I don't really care. I know they're brothers, but
I honestly don't care about them. But what's annoying is
I'm not going to buy the fight. I'll watch the highlights. I'm not paying for the fight.
I will never buy one of their fights, but I hope he's just not going to be going to every UFC and calling people out just to piss him off, because I feel like he's been doing that, And then he pissed off.
That's part of his DC. MO, though. DC was like, "I'm a man, all right." First of all, if you're like, basically, I feel like he said to him what I kind of just put out there. Yeah. Like, if you're going to step to me, you're going to step to me in MMA.
Yeah,
like that's how it is. Because I'm an MMA fighter. And he doesn't need, DC said he doesn't need the money. He's fine. He's made plenty of money.
He said it was silly.
Exactly.
To do it, But
so if you're going to keep calling out MMA fighters, like, come on.
He does get a rise out of him, though. Like, you could tell he's pissed off now. Before he was like, no, that's dumb. I'm not going to worry about it. And then he tries to get in his face.
Because he's the villain. Jake Paul is the villain, and he's always going to do that because that will get you, not you, but people to buy the fight because you want to see him get knocked out.
Like Colby Covington.
Precisely. It's a character.
Yeah.
All right. So let's be done with that and let's move on. We have a UFC coming up this weekend, like of course every weekend with the exception of Easter weekend. I love MMA, but man, that's such a nice break. That's all I gotta say about that.
Never.
We're good.
No chill.
We have Poliana Botello versus Luana Carolina. Both are coming off losses. 8-3 and 6-2.
I don't know.
Not a ton of experience. Both from Brazil. All right. The wins by Botello likes to knock people out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Whereas Carolina has more of a mix in her bag. of how to get the win. Takedown defense is pretty good. What do you think? Who do you pick?
Don't know these girls, but I'm going to take Botello. I feel like I've seen her. I think I've seen her fight before, but that I don't even remember. I'm going to go for her.
I will take Carolina.
She has a slightly more experience. I don't know if that's even going to make a difference, but we'll see.
Going back to our picks, we went 3 for 3 because we had all the same picks.
We did, yeah.
It was the PFL where that was a mixed bag. And we'll get to that after we do this, after we talk about our picks. Moving up the card. And I also noticed when I was jotting down the stuff for this card, this Ultimate Fight Night card, had a lot of fights on it for the main card.
Yeah.
That really surprised me. I was like, wait a minute. There was only 5 fights on the pay-per-view, and you're giving us 6 fights?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is a lot for a fight night. It should have. I feel like it should have been like 4, even 5. But
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Sometimes fights fall out, or
it's true. Don't know. And we will also discuss that a little later, involving the UFC.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep going. We have Merab Dvalishvili. What?
Dvalishvili.
Dvalishvili.
Yeah.
Versus Cody Stamann. Both, man, Cody has a wealth of experience, 19-3-1 against Merab's 12-4.
Yeah.
Fighting at 135. Merab has a 3.5 inch reach advantage.
Wow.
Damn. But he does like to go to decision, so he's probably a grappler. Man, who do you take, Kaelyn? I got to know. Inquiring minds want to know, who is your pick?
Cody Stamann, I think.
You know what? I'll pick the American. I'll go with that too, because America all the way.
It's 12-13, so it's probably a good matchup. Yeah,
that's true. Usually those lower matchups seem to do a good job.
Or at least when you have like a 4 and a 5 or a 6 and a 7 fighting each other, you know it's going to be good.
That's very true. Or you have Thug Rose, who's number 1, knocking out the champ. Oh God,
yeah.
So good.
Yeah, but that's Rose. That's what she does.
That's true. All right, let's keep moving up this card. We have Sean Strickland versus Christoph Jackko. Very similar records.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Strickland just because I've seen him fight before. I don't remember the last time he fought. Wait a second. It's 170 or 185?
I don't know. It does not. Let me backtrack out and see if it says. This is going to be a fight at middleweight.
So 180. 185, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Strange.
So he's going up in weight.
Okay. Well, man, I don't know then. No, I also go for Sean Strickland.
You'll take Strickland?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know what? I'm going to go for Christoph. And this is totally stupid and cheesy, but on his arm, he has a tattoo of Dragon Ball Z.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Huh.
And so, you know what?
That's who you're going for.
I'll just go with that, just to be different. And not only that, I feel like he's already comfortable at that weight.
He's been there, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So he should be good to go. Whereas Strickland is going up. Who knows how he's going to acclimate to that?
I wonder if he has a hard time making 170 now. Maybe that's what it is.
Could possibly be. Could be super dehydrated and just doesn't perform well. So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
Right, hopefully it goes well for him, but I'm still going to go for him. We'll see what happens.
I go for Christoph. Christoph for the win. There you go. The end.
Okay.
All right. Now we have Dustin Jacoby versus See, I'm gonna read this like I'm reading a book, like Ion. It's
I think
probably
that's what
like,
it is. Yeah.
is it?
Ion
It's not like,
Kutalaba.
isn't it like Ian or
I think it's Eon.
Kutalaba?
I think it's Eon Kutalaba.
Eon Kutalaba.
Yeah. I've heard his name said 1,000 times on TV. I think that's what it is.
You know what's crazy is I just saw a clip of this dude where he will go up during the weigh-ins and like yell at the guy.
Yeah, he does do that.
I'm not gonna lie.
Pretty weird.
It is weird.
I would be
you know what I'd really like to see? Someone
yell back.
A fighter be startled and go, and then like throw a hook and knock him out right there because they were so startled, like it's their knee-jerk reaction to like, ah!
Oh my
I think
god.
that'd be epic. That I'd be like, all right, well, I mean, he won the fight. It happened right there. He is pretty intense. This is going to take place at light heavy at 205. Wow. Quite a few wins by knockout and TKO. Oh. Yeah, 15-6 and then 14-5 for Jacoby.
Yeah.
Who do you pick?
Dustin Jacoby. I'm a huge fan of his. He came from Glory Kickboxing, so he hasn't been doing MMA his whole fighting career. So now that he's in the UFC, I'm all for him. So I'm going for him. But he has a tough fight, though. He definitely has a tough fight with the Hulk.
I will take the Hulk.
Okay.
Just because that dude literally once painted himself green like the Hulk.
He did. I know. I saw that.
I saw that and I was like, all right. I don't know if he really is a Marvel fan, but I am. So
well, that's his name, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
That's true. But he is coming off a loss. We'll see how he bounces back from that. All right. Now we have Cub Swanson.
You know what? This card is a really good card because this Giga Chikadze, he came from kickboxing as well. So I love Cub Swanson too, but I have to go for the kickboxers.
So you're going to take Giga?
Yep, I am.
All right. I will take Cub, though.
14-15, though, pretty close.
California, all day.
Yeah.
And this must be his first fight in the UFC if he doesn't have any significant strikes landed.
No, he's fought. I thought he's fought before.
The UFC needs to update their site. Shame on them.
I think that might be the issue. I think he's fought.
All right. Well, I'll take. Looks like we're mixing it up on our picks, like compared to last time. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Also, I think Chikadze came from the Contender Series. Also, I think that's how we got into the UFC as well.
Oh, that's that Contender Series has done wonders.
I love it.
I feel like it's
all the fighters that come out of there. They're so good.
It's better and faster than the Ultimate Fighter. I feel like the Ultimate Fighter relies, because it's a long show, they rely too much on the drama that is going to take place while they live together.
You're watching the fight at the end of the episode, and it's like 10 minutes long, and all it is drama for the first 25 minutes, 30 or 20 minutes, whatever, however long their episode.
And all you want to do is just see fighters go out there and fight.
And
that's what you get with the Contender Series.
What I started doing is I just fast forward the episode until the fight at the end. That's all I care about. I want to know who their teams are, who the matchups are, and the fights. That's it. I don't care about what someone's yelling at night to him, or I don't care what those challenges, whatever.
Just let me bang.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, those were entertaining. I think they're boring now. I feel like they're trying to stir up drama that doesn't exist in the first place with those people, but I just care about the fights at the end of the episode.
Well, that's the point. That's like one of my favorite seasons was the heavyweight season that had Roy Nelson. It had Kimbo Slice.
That's my favorite. I bought the DVDs.
Ooh.
I have the whole set.
I love that season just because I knew who Roy Nelson was. I knew who Kimbo Slice was. Yep. And when they showed up, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I watched that thing so many times also. I used to just put it on the background. I loved it. I love that season. I'll always be my favorite.
All right, let's keep going with the main event of this card. We have Dominic Reyes versus Yuri. Oh my God. Prochaska.
Yeah.
You know what, UFC? Could you do me a favor and put pronouncers underneath?
I know, right?
That would be like, because sometimes like I screw up a lot, folks. It's work in progress. But when I hear the names, I will sit there and repeat them to myself. But what would really help is when I'm trying to read this, if there was a pronouncer and I could just, it would be fine. All right, we got Reyes. That's 12-2, and Yuri. That's 27-3-1. Wow, quite the fight record.
Yeah, he does.
They're both fighting at light heavy. Yuri has the 80-inch reach advantage, so compared to Dominic's 77. This looks like it's going to be a stand-up fight just because of their wins by knockout and TKO.
Who do you have in this one? What do you think is going to happen?
Ooh, it's between number 3 and number 5. I will take Yuri on this.
What do you think about Dominic Reyes ever since he lost to, sort of lost to John Jones?
I mean, well, everybody's lost to John Jones.
Right, but he was a lot closer than the rest of them, I think, besides the first fight with
Gustafsson?
The Swedish guy.
Alexander Gustafsson.
Yeah, but their first fight, obviously.
I think, I don't know.
He looked so good against John Jones, and then right after, I'm like, oh, he's just human.
Yeah, that's basically how it breaks down. It's just how do you overcome that? So, and it's John Jones.
Yeah,
everyone knows.
But the fact he did so well against him.
He was probably high on coke, but besides the fact, it's John Jones.
Maybe.
I think Dominic will get there again. It's just a matter of time. But in this fight, I'm taking Yuri.
Man, I'm gonna go with him too.
You're gonna take Yuri also?
Yeah.
Woo! All right.
What happens?
I think it's the man bun. I think that might win it.
I don't even know what's going on with that dude's hair. It's like half shaved, half. I don't know.
He reminds me of
pick something. Pick a hairstyle. You can't have all of them. This is
going to be way before your time and before my time, which is now rare. It's an SNL skit with John Belushi where he plays this samurai butcher.
Oh gosh. Oh.
Yeah, and that's what the hair looks like. I feel like if he walks out with the sword, I'm going to be like, okay, he's a samurai. I get it. It makes sense. All right. He's a Ronin. All right, folks. Those are our picks for this upcoming UFC fight.
Does it say what time it's on? I know these ones get weird sometimes.
Let's see. This says 7 p.m. I want to say that's Pacific, but I'm not sure.
We'll see.
It's on tomorrow, though. And then we're going to keep going. Now we're going to move on to the PFL. Now, the PFL, it was on last week. And I have the information here. It was on last week, and it's been on this week. And it happened to be on this week before we do our podcast. So the only fight people really care about, if you know about PFL, was Rory McDonald got the win by submission. So
yes,
good for him. In the way of picks, the only fights that let's go to that website real quick and pop that up for us. So my picks were awful. I picked Lance Palmer to win. He lost. Bubba Jenkins got the win.
Yep.
And then the two guys whose names that I could not pronounce, and I've kind of refused to pronounce them, your guy got the win. Hey, Blouvet. I'm just going to butcher it right now. I don't care. I just got to get through this. Your pick held. He won.
Yes.
He demanded to be held, and he was. He got the win. And then Pettis. Pettis. I think a lot of people expected him to come out and be like, oh, Sergio Pettis of old. He was not.
Yeah.
Pollard got the victory.
People were expecting him to be himself, I think, actually, because normally he does do very well. But I was surprised because this guy was a boxer, and I'm like, well, he's got this then. He's got, he has a lot more experience, well-rounded experience, but I don't know, man. I was surprised.
I was too. You beat me 2-0. I didn't get any picks this week, or for this card, at least. So I'm disappointed in that. Disappointed in myself. So we'll just keep moving on. We won't discuss this ever again. And then PFL, like I said, happened yesterday as well. Rory McDonald got the win. And then I feel like I hear about this, but of course it's not as saturated as the UFC, so I don't hear about it as much.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. Like some of these other promotions, I'd love to hear more about, but when I hear about it, it's usually too late.
Yeah, it already happened.
Excuse me. I said I may have said Sergio Pettis, and it was Anthony Pettis. That's my fault. I apologize for that. Thank you, Chris.
That's his brother.
Chris Ronquillo coming through with the fact check. I appreciate that. All right, and we're just gonna keep moving on. Let's see. Now back to the UFC. We have some unfortunate news for longtime fight fans. Diego Sanchez is no longer with the company.
Oh, man.
Yeah. He was cut after being there for 16 years and 32 fights. The UFC, the Ultimate Fighter 1 winner, is no longer with the company. He's been released from his contract. He was actually supposed to fight Donald Cerrone on the 8th in 2 weeks. This fight card,
that would have been good.
There's some changes. It'd be a good fight. Didn't they used to train together?
I don't know, but they're both been in the UFC forever, and I wanted to see that fight.
I did too. I'm, severely disappointed in it, but it is what it is. So yeah, not sure. Like I've heard he spoke out against some things, and that's why he was let go from the company.
Man,
I mean, I feel like
to already have a fight scheduled and then just be released. Normally, you
let
fight.
Go. Like, that has to be pretty drastic.
Yeah, you know what? He got fired. That's what happened. He got fired.
Pretty much. I mean, but let's be real. He'll probably get picked up by Bellator or even one if he decides he wants to continue to compete. He can literally go. He can literally go anywhere now.
He can go anywhere.
But he just won't be in the UFC. All right, and then we have more UFC veteran news as Rachel Osteovich signs with Bare Knuckle FC. They already have Paige Van Zant, and now they have another female signing.
I was surprised. I was surprised she's doing this. I don't know.
Did you
maybe
think that she should have went to another MMA promotion instead of right out the gate going to them?
I don't know, because in UFC she was losing quite a bit of her fights. I don't know. This will be interesting. I like that BKFC is signing more girls, so this should be more interesting. So I look forward to watching her. Looking forward to watching her fight in there. Don't know who she's gonna fight, but I guess we'll see.
Well, she did test positive for using tainted supplements.
Oh.
And that was in January. I don't know if that's the case.
I think she just got released.
That might have been.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe. All right. So that's another addition to the bare knuckle fighting. Curious to see who they match her up against. And we will see how that goes, because like bare knuckle fighting kind of reminds me of the old school tough man contest back in the day. You're probably too young.
That's exactly what it is.
But that's why it's great. I love it. I love it. And then one more thing in UFC news is TJ Dillashaw also pulled off of the May 8th card. He was going to fight Corey Sandhagen, and that's a no-go.
That was going to be a good one too, I bet.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. That might be a little extreme. Cut above the eye. Yep. So due to that cut, he is not fighting in that card.
Hopefully
but
soon,
they
though.
should reschedule the fight. Yeah, once he heals up, it shouldn't be
Once he heals, he should be good to
any
go. He's already
problem.
ready, you know.
So that will be
I
interesting.
don't know. I don't feel very excited to see him fight anymore. And I think it's because of the whole steroid thing. I kind of lost interest. I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm just not excited. And I don't see him like he's not in my head anymore as far as when you think about the fighters that.
Like a top fighter or a fighter that's a contender?
Credible, maybe. I don't know. It's the whole steroid thing. Like, I know he's probably not doing it anymore, whatever. And I know a lot of other people do them, so it's, you know, it's kind of hypocritical, but I just, after you find out someone's been on roids, it's like, oh, all right, whatever. I don't know. I'm not excited anymore. I was really into it when you could tell back when he was using it, and he did get really good. Not that he wasn't good before, but you could obviously see a level change in his cardio, or just his just a lot more energy.
The way he performed.
Yeah. And I was like, oh wow, man, this guy's really good. And then they come out and say he's been on steroids. It's like, well, I almost don't even care how good he was before that anymore, you know? I don't know. It's sad. And other people
really
disagree for sure, but that's just kind of the way my thinking goes. I don't know.
From my understanding of different things that I've seen with steroids basically make you more of who you are. So if you're a jerk, it makes you a super jerk.
And he was good. He just became really good when he was on it. And now I'm sure he's still good. I just don't think I'm that interested to see him go for a belt again. I think he's just going to have that on his name.
I think that time has passed for him, unfortunately. I think so. I think he's going to just end up being more of a gatekeeper.
Yeah, I guess.
So we will see how that goes, especially against someone like Sandhagen, who had a great performance in his last round.
I would have picked Sandhagen to win that one.
Same here. I completely agree. And when that fight does happen, that will probably be my pick. Unless something else changes, I don't see me picking Dillashaw anytime soon.
So they're not getting another fight for Corey, I guess.
Probably not. They'll probably just reschedule that one because it's just it was a headbutt.
You just have to heal. That's it.
Heals up. That's it. Yeah. And then they could probably have that fight.
Yeah.
And then now this information that we found out this week, unfortunately, it sucks. But found out that Yoel Romero didn't pass his pre-fight medicals. So he will not be competing against Anthony Johnson.
Oh, man.
It was, as it says here in this article, one of the most anticipated fights in Bellator's history has been canceled.
Postponed. So it will happen.
This says canceled. I imagine it will, but I can't believe that it's a no-go for him. That's such a, why? What was it he failed?
I don't know.
Firing minds want to know.
Is it well, it's not. Is it USADA that's doing that, or is that just for UFC?
What's that?
Does USADA, are they working for all the organizations or just UFC?
I'm not quite sure how that works. I've never really been a privy to that as someone who's talked about fighting. I'm not sure. That's a really good question.
There's a website. You can go to the website and see what everyone's tested for because there's a list of fights. Yeah, I don't know if you knew that. I discovered that like 2 years ago, and I was so shocked because, and it has everything on there. It's like it could have been PEDs, but it could be anything. So they just have a list of stuff. So it's not like it's not like every name on the list there is because they were using steroids to, for their fights. But there is a website you can go to, and it does list everyone and what they've tested for. Just wondering, but I think it's a USADA, so I didn't know if maybe this would be on there. I need to find out, but I don't know. Either way,
very good
whatever.
question.
I'm disappointed.
I'm disappointed too. I don't know if this will still be a part of the Grand Prix, or is that
I think
fight
they're getting
just
someone
mixed?
else. I think they're getting someone else for Johnson.
Hopefully they come up with somebody pretty quick because this fight is. I
wanted to see Romero
fast.
Well, yeah, I would love to see Anthony fight again. I was like, man, both those guys. That was the fight, man.
That was one they really pushed, and to hear that happened sucks.
Feel well.
Romero will become eligible to reapply for clearance to compete in the coming months. And hopefully he will make his Bellator debut and have that fight versus Rumble Johnson. That would be awesome. And then we'll finally get the bout that we've always talked about.
Yeah.
Because all it does, with that fight not happening, it just makes me think of Paul Daly versus Josh Koscheck too. That was supposed to happen, and it never happened, and Koscheck retired.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they never said that he retired. It's just he never fought again.
He just never
let's
came
be
back.
real. Let's be real. He retired.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate. That was a fight I wanted to see ran back, and that never happened.
Oh.
Anyways, let's move on. I didn't know Sage Northcutt had a sister.
Oh, you didn't know?
And I didn't know he had a sister. I didn't know she fought until this week.
Yeah.
I learned. She competed in the one championship that took place. It's on TNT. I'm not sure what day or time it takes place. I just know that they air it
I think it was Wednesday.
I know they air it on Wednesday, but I don't know when it happened on Wednesday, if it happened on Wednesday.
Probably early in the morning. I would think it would be live, but
Eddie Alvarez, he got his disqualification reversed, but then he came out and lost a unanimous decision.
Ah, jeez.
Eddie Alvarez is just he's just on that slope, and he needs to readjust.
I don't know that. Luckily, one championship just hands out fights like it's nothing. So
I know, because this was maybe 2 weeks ago, and he's already like, "Oh, I'll fight again, sure."
Well, got overturned, again, so it's like, yeah, you're ready to go. I'm sure he wanted to get back in there too.
But that fight also wasn't very long, so he was ready already.
Yeah.
But man, that was unfortunate. And then we had my boy, Shinya Aoki. That dude's a monster. With winner by submission in the first round. I want to see him fight against tougher opponents. I want to see him compete in a bigger stage. Like, one championship is good, but I want to see him. I don't know if he's past that yet.
Oh.
Because you've seen him be tested with certain fights, but bigger names. That's what I want to see him fight.
Bigger names. Yeah.
Because I think he would perform very well, especially with his grappling. He is off the hook.
Yeah, I actually saw that one. Actually, I did see that fight. I was training at the time, and it was on the TV at the gym. So I saw that, and I saw. I didn't see Colby Northcutt, but I did see the one right above it. Jackie Fontan, and I can't say her name. Ekaterina.
Don't worry about it. She's from Belarus. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. That was a good fight. Jackie dominated on the feet, got the decision. But to be honest, she's a monster. So anyone that
is she really?
Huh?
I've never heard of either of them, and so you telling me she's a monster, it frightens me.
She is, and I've been watching her lately, and I've been watching old fights of hers, just clips of old fights, and she's a badass. So I'm not surprised that she won. I actually thought she was gonna do a little bit better, but she still did pretty good. So.
And then we have Kobe Northcutt, who is, like I was saying earlier, Sage's sister.
She looks like she would be his sister.
She actually, no offense, Kobe, I feel like you do. You look like you just took his spiky hair off and put a blonde wig on.
Yeah, it's funny.
But it is what it is. She got the win by submission.
Round one.
I need to get used to watching one championship. I always forget about it.
I forget about it too.
And I mean, they have some really interesting fights. Like, I watched their first fight card they put on TNT, and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. And after that, I was like, out of sight, out of mind. And I just need to record it. So that way I'll remember it. All right.
I think they have an app or website or an app you can go to and rewatch them.
I
think maybe not anymore, actually. Maybe not anymore.
Never mind. All right. And we also have the Underground Fight Series coming up, Ultimate Fight Series number 2. That's going to take place in June. The website's up for signups. So if you want to know any more information, contact any one of us MMA Fight Pass crew, and we will do what we can to get you informed and hook you up. But go to the website. It should have all the information that you need, costs, weigh-ins, all the information, everything. Go check it out. And like I said, if you guys have any other questions outside of that, let any of us know, and we'll point you in the right direction to get you where you need to be. Now, this weekend, you're going to be attending a kickboxing fight, right? Or Muay Thai?
It's Muay Thai. It's the USMTO, it's the US Opens for Muay Thai. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. So my gym has about 4 guys competing this weekend. We have 4 of them. We have Floyd, Anthony, which is my coach's nephew, Anthony Macha, Sam, and Ray are going to be competing. I do see a lot of locals going there too. I think I'm going to end up seeing a lot of people from Fresno there competing as well from all the other gyms. It's pretty popular. It's a 3-day tournament, so it's going to be a long weekend, but it's going to be fun. I'm so excited to go see fights live in front of my face.
Now, are you able to go to all 3 days?
Yeah, the whole weekend. Yeah.
Sweet. That's a good time right there.
Yeah, I think it was like about $60. I think they give you the multi-day pass. So
nice. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, considering all the other fights that we have locally, they're just the tickets are so much because they need to pay for it. But this one, I'm really looking forward to. Going to head out this afternoon. Going to fly to Phoenix.
That's why we're doing the show so early in the morning.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hey, no worries.
So yeah, good luck to those guys. Shout out to Manny Macha's kickboxing gym. Hopefully we all come back with some belts. So that would be really cool. They've been training pretty hard. So this is going to be interesting. It's the first, tournament. Well, I mean, I think they've had other tournaments. This is the first tournament from our gym where we're competing since a year ago, where I think all these 4 guys were scheduled to fight in the PAC fight promotions for Fresno back in April when, everything got shut down. So a year later, here we are. So we'll see.
For this tournament, how many men, people are competing in the tournament? Is like an 8-man tournament, 4?
It depends what weight class. It's different. Whoever, I mean, I'm sure it just depends on who signs up, how many people sign up. But there's multiple people in different weight classes. So I believe all 4 of our guys are in separate weight classes, I want to say. I'm not sure. But yeah, so there's going to be a lot. I know the registration fills out pretty quickly. So.
All right. Well, I look forward to hearing about that.
Yeah.
Shoot some video. I want to see some people get knocked out.
Sure. I want to see people get knocked out too.
Have fun doing that. And thank you guys for joining us. And we will see you next week on the MMA Mainstream Podcast.
Mm-hmm.